Welcome to Umoja Voice, our monthly program with me, Marie Ndale.
With me, Joe Santiago.
With myself, Jackie Burnett.
Umoja means unity.
We as Africans need to unite to discuss solutions for us, by us.
We will be talking about asset-based wealth creation,
Youth empowerment,
wealth protection,
health and wealth, how they go together.
because your health is your wealth.
Welcome to our monthly program,
Umoja Voice.
Afternoon, morning, evening to my brothers and sisters, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another edition of Umoja Voice. It's just lovely being back here in this space. And today we're going to have a conversation with my brother Jose and sister
Hello.
Marie and Dali. We haven't had a conversation for a long time because we've had summer in the UK. And in the UK, it was really hot. I mean, some of you, I know, it's hot every day. But we in the UK was really, really happy for it. And we was like the social bunnies for nearly 3 months. Anyhow, we're back here and we're going to have a conversation. So, in the summer, UGW had our second Ubuntu Awakening Summit. And I just want to hand over to Brother Jose. How did it go, Brother Jose? The second Ubuntu Awakening Summit in São Tomé and Príncipe, which I only knew existed in the last 4 years.
Wow. Thank you so much, sister, for the invite. And obviously, it is always a pleasure here to have the chat. Obviously, for all of brothers and sisters around the world. Now, the experience of our second Ubuntu Awakening Summit was something which I believe personally it surpassed my expectation, and it surpassed my, I would say, internal desire.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because the first one, of course, we did in Jamaica, and it's a land that I was there before, but not a land that I am too familiar with. But with regards to São Tomé, is the land where I come from. Is the land that apparently, I should know most corners of and I had many people there that I've been to school with, etc., etc. So it was, it took a extra dimension way beyond what a summit could be, because it was coming back home, meeting people who I met many, many years, and reconnecting. So it was good. But the more importantly is that we saw an audience that me personally, I wouldn't say fearful, but I was not very sure that the audience would embrace. I was expecting more pushback. I was expecting more resistance. But to my surprise, honestly, it came to be something very enjoyable, because instead of the pushback that I was expecting, I saw welcoming arms and open arms, and kind of, hey, you guys come here to do this, welcome home or welcome back home. So yeah, it was really very touching from my side. But by the way, Sister Ndale was there as well, so maybe she can share a different experience or different side of the experience that I had.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for hanging in there and coming, talking, listening to us in this upper edition, the second Ubuntu Summit, as has just been mentioned, was in São Tomé and Príncipe, and it was even above what we expected to happen. Now, as Brother Jose just said, we were in Jamaica. I'd never been, but it was a pleasant experience, and we came off there with 5 points that we thought we would go on, continue and do the second summit. More importantly, the reason for us choosing Jamaica first and then São Tomé next. It's good that Brother Jose comes from there, but that was not the reason why we chose. There was much more, a historical meaning for the choice of where we went. And in the course of our conversation, we would see how that. Oh, we could start by saying that, because we as a community, we all know, and some people more and some people less than others, about the historical context of we as a people. So we'll discuss that further. Well, I could start by saying
I think it would be useful, sister, to start, because it actually links in really well to the journey, because I think more of us who are the descendants or that from our Cuba land, there seemed to be an acknowledgement more of the significance of São Tomé and Príncipe to our enslavement and colonization. And I think there might have been. I was at the all-party parliamentary reparation conference on Saturday, and when I mentioned São Tomé, I saw that people's head shaking in agreement. It wasn't like, where is that? Or what happened there? So that was quite good for me. Maybe it's like-minded, but I think we need to acknowledge the root of the sin, and it started in São Tomé. So I think you and Jose that went there can explain that now in a bit different, a bit wider.
Yes. Yeah, so we chose São Tomé because it was the first hub, the first place where the transatlantic slavery started. Now, a lot of us know from reading historical accounts, and some people think that Ghana was the first because that was what was widely talked about. But São Tomé, because of where it's in the region where it was the first hub. That's where our ancestors were taken first by the Portuguese before we had the transatlantic slavery happening as it did. Now, Umoja Generational Wealth, our organization, UGW, had taken as one of our missions to connect our ancestry, to connect our brothers and sisters on the continent and our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, for us to be able to come into communication and communion and talk about the different aspects, economic, financial, different things that affect us as a people. So we went to Jamaica in 2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and in February 2024, and São Tomé in August. Before we left Jamaica, or after we left, we had 5 pointers that we had taken as what would help us, guide us as we journey on. And we talked about direct trade between us. We talked about the diplomatic connection between our peoples in the different regions. We talked about cultural interaction and creating a Pan-African fund. And we were looking at creating task forces in these different areas. And so we carried on with that work and went on to São Tomé. Now, just as Joseph said earlier, we were really greeted with open arms when we went to São Tomé.
Mm.
And we met youth, we met the different groups, and it was really, really encouraging to see how the communication between us and the acceptance primarily that we as a group of people need to come together, work together for a common goal, common outcome.
How did you cope with the different languages? Because for me, first of all, I didn't know São Tomé existed until meeting Brother Jose and that, and its significance. But
Yes.
the narrative of the conversation I hear, we always talk about the English-speaking side that has that connection to the trauma that was done to us, but we don't talk about all of the different colonizers. So what did you learn, Sister Marie, that you it's a big answer there, isn't it?
No, it was great having my Jose, my brother, and Sister Angela, who are all part of UGW with me, because they spoke Portuguese in São Tomé, but I was happy to be among my people, because we are the same. We speak different languages, but culturally, the cultural experience. São Tomé is a beautiful, beautiful island, and being there, and I did feel the same when I was in Jamaica. It was as if I was in Cameroon, or I was in Togo, or I was in any other part, any other tropical area, because you just felt at home. It just looked like a place you've been to. So there was that communication barrier. I couldn't speak it directly to everybody, but they were willing to. I mean, non-verbal communication is very important, and that was present in São Tomé, and so I felt quite at home.
Lovely. Right. Anything you would like to add? What did come out?
About the equator, that was something that was really, really interesting. The São Tomé is one of those countries among the 7, I think there are, where the equator line goes across the country. So we visited the equator line, and it was interesting to experience that you were standing on one foot on the northern hemisphere and the other foot on the southern hemisphere. So it's really interesting.
Did anything happen to your body? Did anything happen to your body?
Yes, like I'm in 2 time zones. Yeah, yes. Yeah. So that was interesting to see. But the fauna and the flora, beautiful waterfalls, beautiful landscape. Yes, we visited a lot of historic places in the country. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think the narrative for us is that Ghana is the central of the world. So we now know that São Tomé and Príncipe is also.
It's also one of the countries where the equator.
Well, I wouldn't say also. Sorry, well, obviously I'm biased, but I wouldn't say also, because while Ghana is crossed by Greenwich Meridian, which is zero latitude. But São Tomé is the only country in the world where you got 0 latitude and 0 longitude. So crossed by equator, and just on the western side of São Tomé is crossed by meridian. So Ghana is no country in the world is there. So in that regard, Ghana cannot compete. So anyway. But obviously, people are going to say that, no, you are biased. Or whatever. I'm just
it's factual. It's factual.
I'm just stating a fact.
Yeah.
But I just want to add one thing that Sister Maria has spoken about, which is that desire of building the bridge, of connecting us, being the diaspora with the continent. One thing very significant in São Tomé, where there was the enslavement hub, the name is called Anambo. Anambo means that I'm going, and it's not Portuguese. Anambo, that is not a Portuguese word.
Wow.
Is a Bantu language word, which means I'm going. So those ancestors of ours who were put in that place, they knew that they were going somewhere. And they named that place that name, and up to this day, this is how it is known. So it's just to bring that small. They came from Ghana, from Angola, from all of those places.
Yes.
They knew that they were going, and they put that thing. And obviously, I took the opportunity to eat a lot of fish, obviously, and greens, because you got too many types. Sorry, Jackie, it's nothing personal. It's just, it's just
How was
And the fish was definitely fresh.
yeah.
All the time.
I
It was right from the waters.
Yeah, I saw you lot all enjoying the fish in Jamaica.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, you lot can eat fish with bone and don't choke. So,
another interesting thing for us in São Tomé, which I have to say blew my mind, is that due to the coverage that we had, and so I had no idea that people in Barbados, in Jamaica, in Brazil, in the United States, and so they were following the summit. I didn't know. I have no idea.
Really?
No, yeah. And people started telling us as we speak with them, oh, I saw you, I didn't know where the country was, where, and things like this. And for me, it really blew my mind. And the people that obviously I do play with, and so many of them went to the map to check where São Tomé is and this kind of thing. So I think in that regard comes the education, or a bit more of enlightenment, where the history places us. And unfortunately, many of us don't have any idea of those things.
And I think when we were planning, didn't we realise that some of the foods are very similar to that which is in the Caribbean?
Yes.
We talked that through.
Yeah.
So that was good. I think it was Callaloo was one.
Well, yeah, no, you got, I mean, some of them, of course, you change the name, but the thing is the same. Couscous, for example, is another one. Bege is another one. And of course, the plantain and the breadfruit and whatever that you see all around. So you got tons of them, of course, changing the name for many reasons. But others kept the name and changed the ingredients a bit. But honestly,
it's the same.
Going to Jamaica and going to São Tomé, okay, let's say they are 30% different, but I don't think it's more than that.
Yes, yes. It's mostly. So you could see that ancestral knowledge had been carried over.
Yeah.
That you cannot stop that. It's been carried over, and the same kind of foods, but just cooked slightly different because of the environment, obviously.
Yeah.
So like in Ghana, you got Elmina Castle, you got Cape Coast, and you got their equivalents in Nigeria.
Yeah.
How will you describe the place that our ancestors was held in São Tomé compared to what some of us have seen about Elmina and that? How would you describe it?
Yeah. For me, it had that same, because I've been to Elmina Castle as well, and it has that primal feeling that you get from the history, from somebody telling you about what happened. You actually feel it, because those structures are still there, and the locals who were guides, they had good knowledge, and the place is just. That history was still there. It was palpable. You could still feel. We visited the hospitals, the hospitals, and you could see where the locals were kept and where the colonial masters lived, and where all of those structures. It just brought you back. It brought you back. So that history cannot be cancelled. Was
there any memorial there? Because in Elmina, when I remember when I did the tour in 2023, there was this place as we were going deeper down of flowers, and like there was some libation just before we went into the last place of the day, the room of no return. Excuse me. Was that the same there?
Look, just going slightly back, one big difference, in my opinion, between Alumina Castle and Annabelle is that the British, as you know, are very fond of maintaining the history, maintaining, their things. They are very fond of, you see it in the buildings here and all the rest. The Portuguese use a different strategy. They want to wipe up the history, right?
Oh.
So there is a monument in that place. Yes, there is a kind of a small little tower, right in the middle of the place.
Right.
But one thing they did is that, there is still a building there where you can see clearly, and I'm having a goosebump now as I'm thinking of this. You can see that they did all they could to wipe to destroy it, but the one building at least is still there, and is quite a somber feeling when you are there, Sister Marie said, because when you go there or when you go to the hospital or whatever, you see clearly how divisive those people were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that general feeling of the location is always a vantage point in wherever they were, by the sea, so that they could see out, and all the other reasons why they chose the places. But they chose the best locations in the regions, and so it was no different in São Tomé. It was beautiful, but the vantage points and things like that. So that history is the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
And is the history of that place actually taught to those that inhabit the
locals?
Do they know?
No.
I mean, you can hear one thing, or let's say for your 7 years schooling, you may hear it for 1 month. Let's put it that way. And that's it. And there's no much written about it, number one. Number two, there's no much true investigation, research on it. There isn't. You may find one or two things in there.
Yes, you may find archives, but nobody delves into it, and it just stays in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as I said before, it was one very deliberate strategy of the Portuguese to make sure they would wipe out all the evidence, and they did it quite brutal. They were brutal in that regard. But this is what it is.
Well, as we discover more, because we made a decision as Umoja to do the reconnection, partly to break the spell of what's been done with us, the triangle. So this is really good, because as you were talking, I could sort of visualize in my head how it might have looked compared to what I saw in Elmina.
Yes.
And the trauma for those that lives on the island, maybe not being aware. Because are they well connected, Brother Jose, with the wider diaspora? What's going on within the English speaking? Are they aware of the conversations?
I wouldn't say they are aware. Well, okay, you may find one or two, quote unquote, which could, but there are a few challenges in that place. First of all, is an island, so you can only go by sea or by air. So the opportunity of interaction with other people physically, and so, like for example, you would find in Cameroon border, or you would find in Angola, that does not exist.
Okay.
This is one problem. The other, and we notice it, and Sister Marie is here, the plane I went on, honestly, more than 90% were not people from São Tomé or even from Africa. The plane that we traveled back on was the same. Are you with me? So there is, and even the price of the
mainly European. Let's spell it out.
Yes.
90% was European.
Absolutely. And the price of the ticket, I mean, Sister American, she's here anyway. The way they priced the ticket was deliberate to reduce the number, because unfortunately, many of us who are in Europe, our spare capacity is not that great. So these people, I can tell you without a reservation, just as an example, I was going to Dubai return ticket for 350 quid. 400 quid.
So
right?
say that again, rewind. Dubai.
I was going to Dubai just a few years ago, right? To Dubai, return ticket 350 quid. 400 quid. There's never been a situation in São Tomé, as far as I know, in the last 30 years, that you would spend that money to go to São Tomé, when going to São Tomé is closer than going to Dubai. So it's deliberate. And on top of that, if you look into the airlines, there's never been any national airline which succeed. None. The only airline which has been there since 1975 up to today is the TAP and they affiliate. Everybody else goes bankrupt in about a year or two. Everybody. Come on. They can't be also not good. There is something there.
And that sense of connection as well, Sister Jackie, we could hear it from the people themselves. The way they spoke, they were like, oh, okay. When we had the conferences and things, they asked questions. It was like, yeah, that's a good. We haven't thought about it this way. We haven't thought, we can have trade with other African countries. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. But it's something that is not. Did not seem like a routine. It's not something that they had given much thought to. Because I mean, somebody in Nigeria would know that you can possibly have trade with Cameroon because we share a border, or with another country. But it's not a concept that they, because of, I guess, their location, the island, but that historical account of where or who they are as a people, it's not highlighted. So most of them would identify more with Portugal, going to Lisbon, or going than to go anywhere else. Yeah.
So do they see themselves as part of Africa, our Kibaland? How do they view themselves?
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, they do.
That's good.
Although there are so-called, what I call the club of 500 club. What I call 500 club are those people who, according to them, because there is historical connection, cultural, whatever, where they feel that they are much more connected to Portugal and to the continent. It's very unfortunate, but this is what happens in good section of that club, 500 club.
Is that the higher class that they would put
exactly
in the Caribbean? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, for example, one example which is something which saddens me a lot. You can peg your currency with another one. So basically, there's no exchange rate, right? There isn't. We pick up the dobra, which is local currency, and we peg it with the euro. I mean, really?
Okay. This is good. Right. So, is there anything else that you would like to bring to the listeners' attentions and those online? Key highlight of the summit.
Let me hear my sister. Let me hear my sister. No. Let me hear my sister.
Yeah. Right. Yes. I mean, the invitation we had out, and for people to come was for them to come and see how we can create those links, cultural links, like we said, and economic links and trade and things like that. And some groups were pretty much, and even the government, certain government areas, sectors were interested in, like the Chamber of Commerce, for example, were interested in finding out, how can this communication happen? And so we exchange ideas about what trade links we can have, what training sessions, and so there's a lot that can happen in São Tomé, because it's a small country, and the lots of industry, that can develop from there. We had people from like the teachers union, people from the agricultural sector, who were all interested in talking about ways to interact with other communities outside of the country. So there were really very good discussions that we had. We took contacts, and we made contacts, and we as a group, as our organization continues since we came back, we've been keeping in contact and seeing how to develop these connections that we made.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I would just come on same line, really, whereby there has been quite a great number of people registering to be Umoja members. The activities there are doing, but there is one thing important that I wanted to bring here, if we can. Sister Marie spoke about the 5 things that we came out from Jamaica with. In São Tomé, we didn't come with the 5, but we've got about 2 or 3 which we commit ourselves to do. One of them is an ancestral village, which is a development, but very much focused in us as people, in our culture, our way of living. Obviously, we're going to put the Wi-Fi there and this kind of thing, obviously, but we're going to use the ancestral technology and architecture. So this is one thing that we are working on, and it looks that it is moving very fast. The other one is the connection that we spoke about, connecting Aluminium Castle, Anambo, for the São Mateus in Brazil, to Jamaica, and so on. This, we can call it ancestral route, or we can call it Sankofa route. This is something that we are working on as well. And finally, is for us to continue our Ubuntu economics, so as Sister Maria has mentioned, in terms of active teaching or financial literacy with government departments and Chamber of Commerce and those people. So all those 3 things been in process, which is something that we are very excited about to bring there. And don't forget that next year we're going to go to Brazil. So we are going to connect São Tomé and Príncipe to São Mateus in Brazil, which was the very first entry point of our ancestors in Brazil.
Yes, and not to cut you short, we noticed as well that a lot of the population of São Tomé was quite young, quite youthful. So there's a lot of youth who were taking care, who were doing that, like the hotels and in the different resorts and things. It was young people between the ages of, let's say, 25 and 40, who were doing most of the commercial things, because like we were told, some of them, their parents, or the older generation had moved to Portugal, to Lisbon, and so they were the ones basically like almost carrying the commercial side of things.
The country.
So there's a lot of youth, so there's a lot of potential there, because the population is that.
It's so young,
It's so young, the demographic.
Brilliant. I have to say, recently I've noticed in spaces that I've been in, commercial, economics, pension, they have acknowledged that it is Africa with the youngest generation age group in the world. And that's where everybody's eyes are focusing. That's good for us, because we are reconnecting, but we need to ensure that we don't get exploited again.
Yeah.
That's why for me the diaspora is really important in connecting and sharing that knowledge. So I'm so happy. Before we conclude, is there anything that we would like to share with the listeners as to what we're doing? We've come back, revitalize, reflection, before we just close today. Brother Jose and Sister Marie?
Let me hear your sister, my sister first, not your sister.
I'm
my
not going to
sister.
ask you first in future. I'm going to go straight to Sister Marie.
All right. Okay. So this is a deal. This is a deal.
Yes. So before we went off to São Tomé, we had training. We had a sessions, Umoja sessions every week, where we our members come in and we talk about the financial literacy, as Brother Josie just said there. Talking about how do we create wealth, because Umoja, we are focused on creating generational wealth. So we are not here to say, oh, if you come join us after 2 years, or you will become this or that. No, we're not saying that. We're looking at what steps can we make, or what things can we put now to ensure that generational wealth grows, and that our children in the future do not have to always start from the ground, So we used to have these sessions every week, where we talk about different aspects, talk about things that affect us. And Jose, we live in the UK, and Sister Jackie as well, who is on the call. We talk about local current issues, and then we also have members who are not living in the UK, and so we discuss those issues. But for now, what we have decided is that we'll be doing monthly sessions. We call it Ubuntu UIB.
Umoja
Investment
Bootcamp.
Bootcamp.
Yes, investment bootcamp. So we'd have these camps where we come together, we look at projects, discuss different ideas, and find out how we can develop them to fruition. So it's not just talking. We're not a talking shop. We want to act. We want to pool our resources together, and then use these ideas to develop businesses, companies, and things here. But mostly on the continent.
Yeah.
And secondly, we continue to work with different organizations to facilitate that communication across borders, because we know that has been a stumbling block for a lot of our initiatives as a group, because we always, not always, but the tendency has been to think that our businesses or any venture, any financial venture can only succeed if we do it in the West, or if we do it in America, or if we do it in Spain. No, but we want to see what are the ways that we can come together and exploit out the deep natural resources and riches that we have on the motherland. They're there, we know that they're there, but are they exploited by us? How can we...
Exploited would be not the word I would use, Sister. I would say...
Well, yeah, explored.
Explored, you enhance, because of the language of what the West have done.
Yes.
We want to work more in unison, synergy with... increase abundance within our community with what's been gifted to us.
That's it. That's it. Thank you, Sister, for putting that.
I mean, this is it really. One other thing I just want to add is we're going to take steps also in terms of media. AUK Radio is one of our partners in that chapter. We wanted to extend and expand this relationship. Let's see, how we can do that. But we've got other media as well. For example, Afro magazine is a magazine, a global magazine in continental Europe that we've got a partnership with the brother, and then we want to expand that. Another one is that we are launching our Umoja Voice. This is Umoja Voice Radio, but we are launching Umoja Voice magazine. For as also another means of communication amongst us, and we leave a conversation here or a request if there is a brother or sister who is a specialist or knowledgeable in one subject which affect us as a people. We would like to hear from you, because at the end of the day, only that combined synergy, that combined knowledge is what is going to help us move forward. And with that, of course, we've got a newsletter that we're going to bring up there. Please do not forget that we've got a massive platform called Ubuntuverse, where you can do barter. For those who know, you can exchange value for value. You can put your product there as well, for the world to buy and exchange. You can buy things from there as well. If you've got an ink for crypto and blockchain, also Ubuntuverse is a place where you've got that, and so on and so forth. All of this, if all of this fail, pick up a phone and call us. Give us a call, or whatever. Or even if you know somebody in the UK, ask them about us. They will direct you, and we can have that conversation. Because what we are doing here, what we want to do and will continue to do, is a joint effort. Okay, we are not doing anything that, I'm going to be, or any one of us is going to be the prima donna or the darling of the town, and you're going to do nothing. No. It's for all of us. So let all of us be the darling of the town, or none of us is the darling of the town. So yeah, and there is a lot more, obviously, but I rest now, because obviously the time is of essence.
And there's a saying that says, each one teach one. And that's what multi-generational wealth is about. We rise together, so we all succeed.
If you want to email us, just email us to registration without S at ugewealth.com.
Can I thank everyone? Thank everyone for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Yes, and thank you, my sisters, for the privilege of being with you.
Yes, thank you. We have been a great people, and we still are a great people. But we have to regain our sense of pride. We have to regain it.
Indeed.
We do.
Thank you.
Let's work on that. Have a good one.
Bye, Evan.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes, bye-bye. Bye.